Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly wear test. I have got a product that I'm certainly excited to try. I'm especially excited because I finally was able to get it when the mini version was in stock here. I wish all foundations did this, or all companies did this with their foundations, is more what I should have said, but mini size, yay. This is from Tarte, and with the warmer months upon us here, it has been about the humid 80s for the past couple of days, and I think it's only supposed to continue throughout the weekend here, at least here in Minnesota. So the hot months, the summer months are upon us, and that means a lot of people are wanting to turn to tinted moisturizers rather than foundations, which I totally get, you know, just something a bit more lightweight. So as I said, did I say? This is the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator. So technically they don't call it a tinted moisturizer, but you know what I mean. I think that's what they meant. If you get the full size, it'll be $29, but they also, as I said, have this 0.5 fluid ounce version, which I think was around $15. I mean, the mini sizes, as much as I appreciate them, they do tend to be less of a value, but if you're just testing it out, I mean, I think it's great. It's even better if you can go in and get a sample, but it looks like, at least on Tarte's website, this is getting great reviews so far. There are 20 different shades available, which, you know, it looks like a Tarte shade range. It could certainly be improved in the deep and pale ends of things, but there are 20 options, and I feel like for tinted moisturizers that's actually pretty good, but Tarte foundations and whatnot tend to run a bit orange, so I'm hoping that's not going to happen here, but we won't know until we try. They just say that juicy skin is in. For some reason they felt the need to trademark that. I don't think that's that groundbreaking of a saying, but okay. Do you, Tarte? It is going to give us a 12-hour hydration and wear, as well as a radiant finish that looks and feels like skin, so nice and natural. It also has buildable coverage and helps minimize the appearance of imperfections. It is vegan, dermatologist tested. Apparently 31 people, yeah, not just 30, they got 31 participants that said that this gives 12-hour long wear and 12-hour hydration as well. Here are all of the ingredients that they wanted to point out. I don't know that I've seen turmeric in a foundation before, but interesting. The rest of the ingredients they pointed out are familiar, at least to me. And to use, they made it very easy peasy on us. They just say to put it on primed skin and blend out with the fingers. So you all know by now that I like to do more than just one method of applying, so we will try with the fingers. I've also got brushes, sponge. We will try things out. I got the shade 20N. This is a light neutral, so hopefully this works for my skin. Open this up. It's so cute, little baby. Yeah, glasses off, but don't worry, glasses wearers of the world, I got you covered as always. We're gonna test this out with my glasses on. I've got an assortment of super cute browsets to test this out on, and I'm excited to do so with you guys. So, as always, face has been washed, moisturized, all that good stuff, I suppose. I mean, it didn't say to shake it, but I feel a little nervous when I don't. So Cassie's coming through with the cat hair, Tarte's coming through with a safety seal, yay! And now, yeah, the fact that it's a tinted hydrator instead of them calling it a tinted moisturizer, I had a feeling it would be a little bit thicker, so it's not as runny as a lot of tinted moisturizers tend to be. But let's see how this does in terms of coverage. No primer today, but I will do that on subsequent days of wear. Oh, this is just reminding me of when I started wearing makeup. No primer, using the fingers to rub this in. Oh my goodness. I mean, it does feel hydrating a little bit. It's not an intense feeling. It certainly doesn't have any sort of cooling feeling to it, but it does feel smooth and moisturizing going on. Blended out pretty easily. However, I mean, that's, they said buildable coverage, but honestly, I don't know that we're gonna be able to get this even to a light medium coverage. If I can get this to a light coverage, that would be great. Right now we are definitely working with sheer. So let's go ahead and see if using a brush will give a bit fuller coverage. I also think I just put on way too much, but that's me. Okay, yeah, so I don't know if it's maybe because I squeezed out more or what, or maybe it's because I'm using the brush, but I do think I'm getting a bit better coverage on this side. This really does though, it looks really nice and dewy and natural. Granted, if you're like me and you have oily skin, especially during the summer, that's a bit scary, but it doesn't feel like it's sitting on top of the skin, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna be super slip slidey or anything. Hopefully. Fingers crossed preemptively. Now let's see. They did say we could get buildable coverage with this, so let's see if we can cover up any of this junk. And I'm just gonna blend that out with a sponge. So, I do think this is already starting to look a little bit orange in comparison to my neck. Like I said, I don't know why Tarte foundations do this, but they tend to run orange. And as you can see, buildable coverage, I mean, it took it from sheer to maybe a sheer light coverage, but overall, I mean, my skin looks very dewy and fresh and healthy. Feels good. It feels like it's sunk into the skin and not like it's gonna transfer all over the place. I just wish it could have done a bit better at covering up blemishes, but you know, hey, if you have perfect skin, congrats! This might work for you. So yes, that is gonna do it for me for now. Just gonna go ahead, put on the rest of my makeup, and then I will be checking in with you guys at the end of the night or during the day if something awful happens. So I will see you all in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, end of the night here. Hopefully my air conditioning isn't too loud. It's just, oh my friends, it is. So it's not even that it's super hot, it's just humid as all get out. It looks like it's supposed to thunderstorm for the next like 3 or 4 days straight. So if you know that feel, that Midwest humidity feel, that's how it's feeling. Just counting my blessings, you know, I know it's much hotter elsewhere in the world. But anyways, you're not here to get a weather report, you're here to look at my face. So as you can maybe see, I'm personally having difficulty deciding whether or not this is still on my face because it is such a sheer thing. But I do think that it's still there. Granted, you know, when I touch my face, it feels like there's foundation on there, but I'm getting absolutely no transfer, which is great, don't get me wrong. But then it's like, my face was looking so orange earlier in the day that it makes me feel like maybe it's not on my face anymore because I don't feel like my face looks as orange right now at the end of the night. But either way, it has felt mostly lightweight throughout the night. I mean, like I said, it is really, really humid here in Minnesota right now, so it has felt heavy, quote unquote, but I think that's more just the air feels really heavy. Overall, it just feels like I've had a moisturizer on my skin, like a heavier, dutier. You can tell when my English really starts to go. I mean, it's never perfect, but when it gets to this point where I'm saying heavier, dutier, I need to go to bed. But either way, I mean, I can still see like blush and contour, that sort of a thing, and it doesn't look patchy on my face. I'm certainly curious to test this out with primer in the upcoming days, as well as try and see if I can use a mix-in medium with this to make it a little less orange. I don't know if that's gonna go so great just considering how sheer this is, but I'm gonna play around with it. I'm excited to do so, you know, if things keep going well. That's a good thing, you know? I'm always happy to find a product that works and does what it says it's going to. So, as I said, I'm excited to keep on testing this and show you guys the results. So, I'm gonna get going, get to testing, and come back in just a second here with those results for you. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to this night where it is my final, you know, I think I make these things so complicated in my brain. Hi, welcome. It's the end of the night on my 3rd day of testing. Like, why couldn't I have just said that initially? I don't know. That's life. Really, anything life related that you have a question to, just Frank Sinatra it out. Tends to work for me. So, y'all saw what happened on day 1. Well, lots has happened since then, in which, I mean, I have tested out this tinted hydrator a couple new ways. So, for day 2, ooh, Galileo's excited too. Day 2, I went ahead and decided I wanted to use 2 primers, just because the more the merrier. So, I used two that were slightly based on the fact that they're both hydrating primers, and then I also picked these two because they're both pink. Yep, I used my Icy Sherbet primer from Touch in Soul, so that one was much more pore filling, and then I used the Ciate Watermelon primer, which was just basically, I mean, it gives a good tack to the skin and is also hydrating. And then on top of that, I went ahead and used my Kaja Under Eye Concealer as well as my Too Faced Concealer to do heavy duty coverage. Yep, heavy duty coverage, so that I didn't have to use a ton of this Tarte hydrator. I also very tentatively used my NYX White Mix-In Medium in with the tinted hydrator in the hopes that I could make this be my shade, and I think I succeeded. Either way, I thought things looked much better on the Touch in Soul side. I don't know, I think just with it being a tinted moisturizer, the fact that that one is more pore filling, I think that helped make it go on a lot smoother since it does sink into the skin. So instead of sinking into the pores, it just kind of smoothed over the pores. Regardless, I thought my skin looked gorgeous. Galileo apparently agrees. It was very natural and dewy. Overall, I just thought it looked gorgeous. Like, I don't know that I can explain it any better than that. And then all throughout the day, it felt really lightweight, which is a shocker because it is humid AF here. Did I mention that in the day one testing? Because it is. It's disgusting. I don't know the exact humidity percentage, but I'd say it's approximately 100% humidity here in Minnesota right now. Like 85 degrees, just yikes. Anywho, it still felt very lightweight on my skin throughout the day, but I could feel its dewiness, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't a heavy feeling, but you just know when you're wearing a hydrating foundation and then paired with the humidity in the air, it just, you can feel its moisturizedness. Please tell me I am not alone. I also noticed throughout the day that there was slight transfer of the moisture. Apparently Galileo noticed that too. There was some slight transfer onto my fingers throughout the day, but that being said, at the end of the night, I could definitely see that even though it was transferring off onto my fingers the slightest bit, it hadn't really made a difference on my face at all. I thought it had faded very gracefully by the end of the night and just overall looked pretty freaking good, you know, if I do say so myself. Now on day 3 here, I was tentative on testing it this way, but I wanted to try it as a mix-in with a normal foundation, because sometimes, you know, that's a thing, and it's nice to do, mixing in a tinted moisturizer with a little bit of foundation if you want that extra coverage built in, but you want the more moisturizing sheerness of a tinted moisturizer. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Do you agree, disagree? Either way, that's what I did. So I went ahead and used my Guerlain primer, my beloved, as well as, once again, my Too Faced concealer. I also used my NYX White Mix-In Medium since that seemed to work just fine the day prior, and then I decided on my Naked foundation just because I thought that would give the best test results, I guess, you know, since that one is a more thin matte foundation. I don't know, I just wanted to try it with that one. And you guys, this was fantastic. Like, it looked real good on my skin, I thought. I mean, I was pretty blown away at how beautiful I thought my skin looked once I got that all done. Just dewy and fresh and freaking delightful. And once again, it is still humid. I'm sure you can hear my AC pumping, and I think at the end of the night here, it looks pretty darn good. Once again, I was noticing some transfer, and I can see where, you know, mostly around my nose and stuff where I'm the most oily. But other than that, I mean, like on my forehead and stuff, this is still full power. My skin looks great, I think. It feels good. I definitely feel oily at the end of the night here. Apparently Galileo agrees. He thinks I look oily, but you know, I don't think it's overt, and I think it just looks good. It definitely faded really gracefully once again. So I'm actually surprised at the results here that I've gotten. Let's go over the pros and the cons. First one being that this gives a very dewy, natural, pretty, radiant almost kind kind of a finish. Really, really nice looking on the skin, I think. It is also lightweight, even in the most humid of weathers, or at least, you know, what I consider to be humid. It's also transfer resistant, as I said. I mean, you can see that it is transferring off a little bit throughout the day if you touch your face. But I swear to God, I have cat hair in my lip gloss and it's driving me absolutely crazy. Oh, finally. Oh, success. But that being said, for a tinted moisturizer and just for how graceful I think this wore, I think it is resistant to transfer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I'm feeling. And also, as I just said, big pro is that this has a very graceful wear and fade to it. Actually, I'm gonna add another pro to the list. Multifunctional. You know, you can wear this as a tinted moisturizer on its own, you can mix it in with a foundation, etc. I tried it a few ways and I thought it was very multi-purpose, which is great. Some stuff you can't mix, and this one, hey, if you like conducting science experiments on your face like I do, this might be a good one to have in your repertoire. Now, onto the cons. I do have to say, you know, with most, if not all, of Tarte's foundation skin lines, I think it does run orange, and I do think that it oxidized a little bit. It wasn't a ton, but like maybe half a shade to a shade it oxidized, which is a bummer. And also I feel kind of bad putting this as a con because it is a multifunctional product, so you can fix this about it if you also see it as a con, but it is very, very sheer, and with that it is not buildable. I think they even say that this has buildable coverage. I disagree. It is sheer and it is going to stay sheer unless you mix it with a foundation or something else. So yeah, there you go, you guys. There is my surprising review, I feel like, on this Tarte product, this new release of theirs in their Maracuja line. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have tested out this product. How did you feel? What kind of skin do you have? All that good stuff. Let's cook up a nice casserole in those comments down below. You can also feel free to let me know if there are any other products you want me to be testing out here in future weekly wear tests. You can also let me know just how you're doing. You can also let me know if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful. I'll stop, don't worry. Whatever the case may be, by giving me a thumbs up down below, I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I would love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!